The palace of Veloria gleamed under the twin suns, casting sharp, golden shadows across the spires and terraces. Leora, the young alien princess, walked through the marble halls, her mind heavy with the weight of expectation. Her people, proud and ancient, had arranged a marriage for her one that she had no choice in. Her steps echoed softly, a reminder of the emptiness that often accompanied duty. She paused by a tall window, looking out at the city below. The streets buzzed with hovering vehicles and alien pedestrians, their elongated limbs moving with practiced grace. The scent of metallic ozone filled the air, mixed with fragrant blooms cultivated in floating gardens. Leora had seen this beauty countless times, but today it felt oppressive. The thought of being bound by marriage to someone she had never met filled her with unease. The royal advisor approached, his voice calm but insistent. "Princess, the ceremony will begin soon. The groom waits." Leora nodded silently, her fingers brushing against the smooth silver fabric of her ceremonial robe. She had been trained to appear serene, yet beneath the surface her heart raced. Forced marriages were a tradition among her people, meant to strengthen alliances and secure power. But she was unprepared to marry someone she had not chosen. The procession through the palace gates was a spectacle of color and light. Guards in polished armor marched alongside hovering attendants, carrying banners and ornamental lights. Leora's eyes scanned the crowd, searching for any hint of who her future might be. When she reached the outer courtyard, the enormity of the ceremony struck her. Alien dignitaries from neighboring worlds had arrived, their tall frames and vivid appearances a testament to the galaxy's diversity. And there, standing calmly among them, was the groom. At first, Leora's gaze lingered on the uniform he wore, simple yet functional, far removed from the ornate styles of her people. But it was his presence that caught her attention. Unlike the alien leaders around him, he did not radiate authority or demand respect through display. Instead, he exuded quiet confidence. His eyes, a deep shade of brown, met hers for a fleeting moment, and she felt an unexpected warmth. He was human. A small, involuntary smile tugged at her lips. Leora's advisors stiffened, but she ignored them. The human's demeanor was unlike any alien she had encountered. He did not shrink or falter under the weight of the crowd. He stood straight, unafraid, unyielding in his composure. That courage, simple and unadorned, stirred something within her. The ceremony began, voices chanting in the melodic alien tongue, words meant to bind two lives together. Leora approached the central dais, her robes flowing like liquid silver. The human followed, his movements measured and respectful. Despite the language barrier, there was an understanding between them, a silent recognition of shared values, bravery, honor, and dignity. As they faced the council, some of the alien leaders whispered among themselves. Many were skeptical, wary of human influence. But Leora felt a sense of relief she had not expected. Perhaps this marriage, though forced, held a spark of something genuine. The chief elder, a tall being with crystalline features, raised a hand. "Princess Leora, do you accept the bond arranged by your people?" She straightened, her gaze fixed on the human beside her. "I accept," she said, her voice steady. It was the truth, tempered by hope rather than obligation. The human stepped forward. "I accept as well," he said in a clear voice, careful to show respect without bowing too deeply. Leora noticed how he met her eyes, not the elder's, as if seeking connection first and approval second. The council murmured, some impressed by his demeanor, others doubtful. Yet Leora felt a calm she had not known in days. She had expected fear, tension, and uncertainty. Instead, she found curiosity and perhaps the possibility of trust. As the ceremony progressed, they exchanged gestures, symbols of their cultures intertwined. Leora placed a delicate crystal band on his wrist, a tradition of her people that symbolized unity and respect. He returned the gesture with a simple clasp of his hand, a human sign of partnership. The contrast was striking, yet somehow harmonious. When the ritual concluded, the elders stepped back, allowing the couple to share a private moment. The human turned to her, offering a small smile. "You were brave," he said softly. "I did not expect courage in such a delicate moment." Leora's smile widened. "I did what was necessary," she replied. "But seeing you, it made a difference." He nodded, understanding more in her tone than her words. "I do not know your ways, yet I will learn. I want to understand what matters to you." For the first time, Leora felt that the future might hold more than obligation. She saw a path where she could retain her identity while embracing this unexpected bond. Together, they could bridge worlds. Merging human resilience with alien tradition. Days turned into weeks as the palace adjusted to the new union. Leora and her human groom, Kale, explored the sprawling city and the palace grounds. He asked questions about her people, their art, their history, and their technology. She observed his fascination, his eagerness to understand rather than judge. It was a stark contrast to the arrogance often displayed by alien leaders. In turn, Kale shared stories of Earth, of human struggles and triumphs. He spoke of ordinary people performing extraordinary acts, of communities standing together against impossible odds. Leora listened, captivated. She began to see why humans were respected in certain circles: adaptable, courageous, and persistent in the face of uncertainty. One evening, as twin moons rose over the horizon, Leora and Kale walked through a garden suspended in midair, connected by streams of light and floating walkways. The air shimmered with bioluminescent flora, and the hum of alien insects filled the silence. "You have a gift," Leora said, her hand brushing against his. "You do not fear what is different. You face it, understand it, and yet you remain yourself." Kale smiled. "Perhaps it is because I have no choice but to adapt. My world demands it, and now yours will too." Leora laughed softly, a sound that echoed across the crystal walkways. Then perhaps this marriage was never meant to be a trap. Perhaps it was an opportunity. The council continued to watch, cautious yet intrigued. Many had expected her to resent the union, to comply out of duty alone. Instead, they witnessed a partnership forming from mutual respect, not fear. The young princess, once apprehensive, now displayed a quiet strength, inspired in part by the courage of a human who stood beside her. Weeks later, a minor political challenge arose. Certain factions opposed the presence of a human in the royal circle, fearing loss of influence. Tensions mounted, but Leora faced them with composure. She spoke on behalf of the human, articulating his respect for her culture, his willingness to learn, and his unwavering support. Her words carried weight. The council, impressed by her clarity and conviction, allowed the union to continue. Leora realized that she had grown, finding a voice and authority she had not known she possessed. Kale, observing her, felt pride and admiration. Together, they were stronger than any expectation or tradition could define. Over time, the human's presence transformed the palace. He introduced new methods, new ideas, and a perspective that balanced alien rigidity with human ingenuity. Leora found herself drawn to his simplicity, his honesty, and his courage in moments that required true resolve. One day, as the palace overlooked the horizon, Leora stood beside Kale, watching fleets of alien ships return from distant territories. "I never expected to feel hope in this situation," she admitted. Kale squeezed her hand. "Sometimes hope finds us when we least expect it. And sometimes it comes from those who seem entirely different from us." Her smile, once hesitant, now radiated confidence. Leora understood that this union was not merely a matter of duty. It was a partnership built on respect, trust, and the shared courage to face the unknown. Humans, she realized, were remarkable in their resilience and adaptability. They were capable of forging bonds across species, navigating challenges with heart and mind aligned. As the twin suns set, casting long shadows across the palace terraces, Leora felt a sense of clarity. She had faced fear, uncertainty, and tradition, yet she had found a path that honored both herself and her people. Standing beside her human groom, she felt ready for the future, not as a princess forced into a role, but as a leader who could embrace change without losing herself. The galaxy beyond awaited, full of challenges, mysteries, and opportunities. Together, they would meet them, blending human courage with alien wisdom. And for the first time, Leora looked forward to what lay ahead, her smile genuine and unwavering. In that moment, amid the splendor of her world and the presence of a human who had already earned her respect, Leora understood something fundamental. Strength was not only in tradition, power, or authority. True strength was found in understanding, in the courage to connect, and in the willingness to embrace the unfamiliar. She turned to Kale, her eyes shining. "We will face everything together," she said. He nodded, a quiet determination in his gaze. Together. The palace lights flickered as evening settled, yet within the heart of the young princess, a new light burned, one that promised unity, resilience, and a future shaped by choice and courage. Humanity, simple and bold, had earned its place among the stars, and with it, a bond that transcended worlds. The twins' moons rose high, reflecting their glow on crystal spires. And Leora, the alien princess, smiled, knowing that